All right, John, it looks like you put the radiator back together again.
Yes, it is a custom radiator, so it did entail changing some parts that were different from, say, the original radiator.
All right, do you want me to close up and you'll show some of the things that you had to do?
I had to do. I mean, it was one of the things I had to do is I had to trim the shroud, otherwise, because this radiator seems to be a little bit higher. But it is a better radiator than, say, original. If you had the original radiator, everything would probably bolt up cleanly. I also had to change these fittings right here. I got them at AutoZone. Basically, the ones they had on here weren't even close to what I had. So basically now what I'm going to use is rubber tubing off this to go to steel lines instead of, where originally it was screwing flare fittings and so forth. But I'm not going to utilize those anymore.
And it looks like everything that was rusty that we saw before has been replaced.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Okay.
I transferred the fan onto the radiator. I did have to elongate a little bit on over here once again because it's a customized situation. So a little trick I do is I put the tape here so these don't drop off as you're trying to struggle to put it back into the vehicle. And then go into the condenser. You'll see what I found, and I have decided. So basically, this is the condenser right here. I mean, this is sort of in front of your radiator, whether you have air conditioner or not.
It's kind of a rusty mess.
Yeah, it's basically corrosion. It takes 13 millimeter bolts to take off on the sides over here, which I already undid the bolts.
Okay.
It lifts out, and you want this. You're gonna have to evaluate and see how bad it is, because if it's this bad, you don't want to put a new radiator in, and all this stuff just blow off into your radiator. Look at that.
Ooh.
It's all corroded, corrosion. So you can put a brand new radiator in, guess what? The flow at the bottom is going to be hampered by all that corrosion.
Wow.
So you got to do something about it. Either you want to keep your air conditioning going, or you want to just eliminate it altogether. So it's a choice you're going to have to make. But to sit there and put a brand new radiator in,
and then this,
and then have this in front of it, well, guess what? Your new radiator is not going to last very long.
Wow.
So that's what comes into play with a car that goes through salty conditions every year in the winter. So.
All right, so you ended up buying a new condenser?
Yes. All right, so basically I had to lift the unit up, and there's 2 pins on each side that have a rubber grommet. You gotta shimmy it in. You gotta make sure your condenser, and also there's a power steering cooler. You gotta position forward so you have plenty, not that you have plenty of room, everything's tight. And you gotta slowly go in and keep checking sides, going lower, juggling, moving, lifting. You might have to move things to give you a little more room, and then you get the pins into the frame, and that's where I'm at right now.
And so what do you do now? You're kind of just pushing it down now into place?
The radiator is in position, and now I'm gonna start bolting the condenser unit, the radiator, and the power steering. They're all the same bolts pretty much, and I'm gonna bolt it all together, and that's the next stage right now. My condenser right here, there's the lips. I'm gonna try to fit it and get it in here.
Can you point to it?
All right.
Aha, okay.
Now you even have to split it a little bit, and see, this slides in there.
Nice.
And then
okay.
it can slide in the other side.
And you're gonna do the same thing on the other side.
You take your time with this. It's very intricate, but okay, now we're ready. I'm there. Actually, for some reason, this shut a little bit. You spread a little bit. Boom.
I heard it slip into place, actually.
And slip right in.
Awesome. Now what?
So now the condenser's in. Next, I'm gonna start putting the bolts through. The bolt that goes here in the front.
Okay.
And here. Well, this will bolt this all together.
Okay.
And there's gonna be bolts right here. And then there's bolts in here.
Wait, let me go up. Where are the other bolts? Point them out.
There's bolts that go through here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bolt that goes through here.
Okay.
And that's
and then it's in place?
Yes.
Woohoo!
All right, so I'm underneath right now, and I'm hooking up the fan. The fan has this line, and this line. So I'm gonna tighten these back up. Then underneath you got the hose here, and then you got transmission lines right here. I gotta get hooked up. I'm gonna show you the transmission lines. I basically fabricated them in rubber. You're going up to the connector up top. A little custom work with the rubber. I'm gonna wind up using some tie wraps to keep them neat so they don't bounce and rub, and you know, I just want to keep them secured, and that's that. All right, now we're hooking up the hoses. Basically, top hose.
So the radiator slipped in nicely. You started to put back, what was this?
Put the top piece here.
Put the top piece in.
Basically, I had to pull back this grill though to get these tabs underneath these tabs. A little tricky. Other than that, the screws is pretty straightforward. The grill, this was, I matched up. You'll see when where they're rusted. So you just take the washer and the nut, position it, then tighten it. And I did the same thing here. So it was like rusted in a circular manner, and you just bolt it up the same spot as it was before.
All right.
Which is important because otherwise you'll have trouble shutting it.
All right, so hose is on. What's left?
All right, I wanted to do the thermostat housing.
And you wanted to do that because?
I'm going to do that because being that the antifreeze is already out, there's no sense, say a year or two from now, I have a thermostat that fails, might as well put a brand new one in.
Okay.
So when you have all the antifreeze out like this, it's a process that you would have to do again. So I just rather just do it now while the antifreeze is all out.
So this is an extra preventive step.
Yes.
You didn't need to do it, but you want to do it because it's a convenient time to do it.
Yes.
Got it.
Makes it a little easier.
Okay.
That's it.
Is there anything else you need to show them with the radiator?
No, as far as everything, transmission lines are hooked up, the hydraulic fans all hooked up. Everything that's left is a bottom hose. I'm going to put the top hose on now because that can be put back. And then other than that, I'm leaving the bottom hose off because I'll be having to take that off anyway with
for the thermostat.
So that's it. So tomorrow's thermostat, fluids, and then it'll be done.
That's it. So all the hoses are back. Everything is back.
Everything's back.
How much does your radiator take?
It came out. I have to probably buy another gallon. So far I'm putting these are this is 1 gallon right now I'm putting in. All right, so we're at the moment of startup. A couple of things. From doing removing this fan and all, I had to refill the power steering fluid. Basically runs the pump actually runs the fan. It's called a hydraulic fan. So I had to refill this. I put 2 gallons in so far. You take off the bleeder screw here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep pouring. Once the thermostat goes on, it's going to suck in more antifreeze, and then I'm going to add more. And I got to add it until the bubbles stop here.
So we're going to see bubbles there.
Yeah, bubbles going to start coming out.
I would have to do this, and you'll see bubbles.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're not at the stage of the thermostat being open yet. So I'm going to start her up now. I'm going to wait for the engine to warm up.
Okay.
And then it'll start sucking the fluid. I got to add more as it's going on, you know.
I have one question.
What's that?
And I don't know. It could be because I just don't know cars. You had to remove all the power steering fluid. You had to put it back in. Is that because when you took off the hoses down below, one of them was to the power steering?
Yes. So the pump actually runs the fan, which is very unusual on cars. Normally they have an electric fan. But the power steering pump actually runs this fan.
For this Jeep.
Yeah,
okay,
Jeep.
Got it.
So these lines, I had to disconnect when I removed this whole fan assembly.
Got it.
So, it was a learning experience for me because I've never seen one before.
All right. So now are you going to start the car?
So now
is it going to start?
Yeah, it's going to start right off.
Dun, 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 dun. Awesome! All right, Johnny's backyard mechanic shop.
All right, so now I'm going to watch here.
Okay.
As soon as it starts dropping, then I'm going to start in. That means with the thermostat close. my part. Not get messy. I need you to fill. You got to fill real slow on these.
Okay.
Keep a roll of paper towel ready. So, let me know when you need it.
Should I be looking for bubbles, John? Should I look for the bubbles yet?
Not yet.
Oh, so now the antifreeze is coming out.
Yeah.
That's what you wanted. Okay.
To do that until the bubbles stop, and then you put your plug back.
So we have to watch this not bubble out of the hole.
Yeah, you watch here, make sure it stays high,
Okay.
and you keep an eye on here. If you start to see drop, you gotta head here.
Okay.
Right now, and then you see, right now it's bleeding the system, for the air in the system. You have to get this out. Very important with this Jeep.
And if you didn't, what happens?
Evidently, you can get an airlock, you can get overheat in certain parts of the head, and you can drop a valve.
Okay. Oh, I just saw a bubble.
Very important. So that stops the bubble. And then put the plug back. I gotta keep a look here too, because sometimes we'll find a void in the head somewhere.
So how long would you say you're going to keep an eye on this?
Run until I stop seeing bubbles.
Could it be 10 minutes?
I've heard it could be as long as a half an hour.
As long as a half an hour. Okay, well, we're not going to run this video for a half an hour. All right. So everyone gets the idea of what they need to do now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, you don't want to see any bubbles whatsoever. It should stay flat. Flat, no bubbles. You see bubbles every once in a while, but that stops, then you put your plug back. See how we keep the bubbles?
Yeah. All right. All right, we'll come back when you're done with this part of the
The other
project.
thing I got to do too is I will check this again, because now the hose is going to suck in fluid. I brought it up to the height that it's supposed to be. If you remember, the hoses require fluid also to be held in the fan itself. So I will have to add again here.
Okay.
That'll be, then I'm almost done. Success.
Okay, let's close it out. How did you finish up? Where we left off, you were still checking those bubbles. How long did it take?
Took probably a total of about a half an hour.
Wow, okay. And then what else did you have to do after that?
Pretty much I put the plug back. Then what you do is you run the vehicle in the driveway, turn it on, turn it off a couple of times, make sure that none of the hoses can blow off. I actually did have a hose get loose on me again, so I had to reposition the clamp, tighten it up again. Those are the last. You check it over and over again, and then you take it for a short ride and then a longer ride, and everything's perfect.
Awesome. And then you get your vehicle back like you have now, and you can take it anywhere you want.
Yep, and it runs absolutely perfect again. It's a very old, reliable vehicle. I like it a lot. It's could be, some things can be annoying to work on, but in general, that's why we make these videos, to try to help people out. And that's it.
All right, great. Well, we hope John helped all of you out there. Leave us a comment. Let us know if you've got any questions, and see you for the next video.